everyone. I'm Jill, founder of Kids Baking Club, and I'm so excited for you to be here today. Today we are going to make brown sugar cinnamon muffins. They are going to be so good. I cannot wait to show you the recipe. We are Kids Baking Club, and our whole focus and dedication is teaching the next generation how to bake and how to love the art of baking. Our kids today are getting to learn all these wonderful skills in school and many times not even in the homes because we have such busy lives. And I wanted, because I learned as a little girl, I wanted to share that love with kids across the country. So part of being into Kids Baking Club is joining me for our virtual baking classes. It's where I get to come in and just share with you these wonderful recipes that everyone loves to make and show you how easy and fun they are. Also, you can become part of Kids Baking Club. And Kids Baking Club is not only do you get a baking kit every single month that is themed, which is wonderful, but you get recipes that only kids in the club get, all step-by-step, photo, step-by-step, showing you exactly how to make it, and then all of the tools and the fun things and the supplies that go with each theme. So it's just a lot of fun. So go to kidsbakingclub.com and find out all about joining Kids Baking Club. Also, if you want this recipe, it will be a printable recipe. Just go to kidsbakingclub.com, click the blog up on top. If you don't see the recipe right there, then go into the search bar and type in like cinnamon or brown sugar or something like that, and then this recipe will pop up. Okay, brown sugar cinnamon muffins, a total fall favorite. So I made these earlier. Aren't they amazing? We are going to show you a fun thing to do at the end using butter and some cinnamon sugar just to make them a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to set these aside. All right, so let me tell you the ingredients that you need. First of all, you need 2 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. You can use gluten-free flour with this recipe. You need 1 cup of brown sugar. You're not really going to use any other sugar except for the brown sugar. The brown sugar has sugar and molasses in it. It's going to make a moist, yummy muffin, so good. You're going to need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, or if you have allspice and nutmeg, you're going to use those instead. That's what the recipe calls for. But right now, a lot of people are using the pumpkin pie spice because it has all those spices already in it. You're going to need 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Then you need 1 stick of very cold butter. Cold butter, and I'm going to show you how I cut those already in cubes. 1 cup of milk, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla. If you're going to dip your muffins at the end, you're going to need some butter melted and some cinnamon sugar. Okay, you guys ready to get started? Let's do this. Right, this is a 2-bowl method because you have your dry ingredients and then you have your wet ingredients, and we're going to merge the 2. Most recipes like this do it that way. So I'm going to start with the dry ingredients. I'm going to, I think I'll put in this bowl. That's 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Remember to like this video and share it so that it goes to lots of other people. We love that. Then I'm going to put in 1 cup of packed brown sugar. Pack it in there. And I'm actually going to break this up now because the molasses in the brown sugar may stick to the baking powder and to the spices and the salt. So I want to make sure this is all mixed together so you don't get spots of spices or spots of baking soda. It makes it a lot easier. So go ahead and stir really well. It's okay to make a mess. I know I used to teach baking classes for 20 years, and the kids would go, I made such a mess. I'm like, that's what baking's all about. You have to make a mess. But you got to clean up too, right? Okay, now we're going to add in our 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And remember, kids, you need to sprinkle. Sprinkle it over so it distributes throughout the dry ingredients. Got my 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Remember to measure really carefully. If you're using salted butter, you don't have to use the salt. It's up to you. And then 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Smells so good. I actually put these in my coffee every day. Sprinkle a little bit of pumpkin pie spice in your coffee. I know kids, you probably don't drink coffee, but you could put it in your hot cocoa or your mom's, maybe your dad's. And that's 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. One thing I love about Kids Baking Club, this is a family affair. Everyone's having fun, working together, making delicious food. It's fall now, baking season is on. We are baking. Very excited about this box. This is our pumpkin patch party box, and people are already talking about how they're gonna have a pumpkin patch party at their house with their family and friends and invite them over. Maybe they're not gonna go trick-or-treating, this is a different year, but they'll have the people that they are close to that they can come and do something fun, because it has all the recipes for a fun pumpkin patch party, really fun. All right, so you're gonna get 1 stick of butter, and you can see that I cubed it. See how I made, like, I took a knife and I cubed it, so it's just a little bit easier to plop in there. And if you don't cube it, then go ahead and just use your, go ahead and use your fingers to kind of make little pieces. And what this does is it makes it a little bit easier to break up the butter. Now, you might be asking, why aren't you using soft butter? Or why aren't you using melted butter? Some recipes do call for that, but for this recipe, they want that butter, that cold butter, to be distributed cold in your recipe. And it's kind of like, you know, when you make biscuits, you need that cold butter. And when I did the pie crust recipe last week, which you can get on our videos, or you can go to Kids Baking Club and click the blog, I always use cold butter when I make pie crust, cold butter when I make biscuits, because when it bakes, it just like pops out this butter and just makes it so delicious. And then with that brown sugar that's in here, oh my goodness, it's just gonna be great. All right, we're gonna just press it in really hard. And kids, you can help out here where you can either press in like this, or you can actually get your fingers in there, wash your hands, get your fingers in there and break up that butter. Okay, now that I have it really solidly in there, I'm going to scrape this all out because I want this all. I want it all in the bowl, right? Now, make sure you then stir it one more time. Make sure you get it really far down there. Make sure you spread all those little butter pieces together. Okay, we are now going to add our wet ingredients. So I'm going to use a different bowl. If you want, you can use the same bowl, but it is better to get all of these wet ingredients mixed together before you put it into the big bowl. So that's 1 cup of milk and 1 egg. Egg is a great binder. It binds everything together. And then 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I don't know, I love the smell of vanilla. Pumpkin pie spice, vanilla, cinnamon. It's like all these amazing flavors. And then I'm going to go ahead and just whisk that up just a little bit. So you want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Remember, when you're ever working with baking soda, eggs, baking powder, cream of tartar, you definitely want to have a preheated oven. You need to get that started, that baking right away. Otherwise, your muffins won't puff up. See how these muffins puffed up? That's because the oven was preheated. I was able to get these in the oven right away. Okay, now we are going to add our liquid, some people call it wet ingredients, and we're just gonna mix this together. Oh my goodness, I can already smell it. It smells so good. Okay, so now we're going to take, now I always like to use an ice cream scooper to scoop my dough in. And this makes 12 cupcakes. So you just want to scoop them in really carefully. And if you by chance, because I have taught kids enough to know that there's usually cupcake droppings on the top of the pan. That's okay. You just want to make sure that you clean that up before you actually put it in the oven, because one is it can really start to create a burn smell, and you don't want that. And it makes it harder to clean up. These are easy cleanup. You just pop these out of the oven, your pan is already clean because it had the cupcake liners in it. To scoop it out, and I can see how it's really chunky, very rustic looking, just amazing, delicious. And then these are gonna go in the oven for about 18 to 20 minutes. And then when they're a little bit cool, I'm gonna show you the fun part. Just making them even more buttery, even more cinnamony. These could be really good for breakfast or for a snack. Could be a dessert that you put with maybe some vanilla ice cream. But like I said before, it also makes a great gift, a really, really good gift. So I'm gonna set these aside and then I'm gonna show you the fun we're gonna have with the cupcakes that already came out. Did I say cupcakes? These are not cupcakes, these are muffins. Know the difference between cupcakes and muffins? I had this discussion with someone earlier. Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know. What I think it is that cupcakes usually have a frosting on top. And muffins don't. That's the only thing I can think of. But there's two ways you can do this. One is you can melt the butter and you can dip it in like this and then dip it in the cinnamon sugar. Isn't that, oh, look at how sparkly that is. Or you can take a pastry brush, which the kids that are part of our club, they got this pastry brush in the September box. You can take the pastry brush and brush it on. Actually, that looks pretty just like that. And then dip it in like that. Or sprinkle, either way. Okay, aren't those beautiful? Thank you for joining me today. Cannot wait to be with you next time. Don't forget to go to kidsbakingclub.com and we will see you later. All right, bye-bye.